Hi everyone, welcome to my Autodesk screencast. My name is Zan Ta and I work for Repro Products in Smyrna, Georgia. I'm an Autodesk certified instructor and hold many certifications in multiple Autodesk products for the AEC industry. I hope you enjoy my screencast. If you'd like to see more of my screencasts, please search for VAR 2015, that's VAR 2015, or my name. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up after you watch it. In today's screencast, we'll be looking at Autodesk A360 collaboration for Revit and an actual quick run-through of the software and how it functions. First off, what is A360 collaboration for Revit? It is the newest feature within the Autodesk family that allows you to install on any workstation that has Revit and allows you to collaborate with a central model that is on an Autodesk server. This central model can be shared and collaborated with anybody, anywhere in the world. Let me repeat that. You don't have to worry about things like sharing within a company, sharing within other companies where they have different domains. You are given the ability to work with the work sharing feature within Revit, not just on a LAN environment, but now on a wide area network environment where you do not have to worry about certain IT restrictions and domain restrictions. So how do we get the software? We can go over to Autodesk.com, do a quick search for A360 Collaboration for Revit, and it will take you to this page here. You have the ability to watch the overview video. It's only 2 minutes. You can click and watch it. And you can sign up for a trial. Once you click here, it'll ask you to download the software and then install the software. Things that you want to be concerned about prior. If I take a look at Autodesk Collaboration for Revit 360 and look at the system requirements, you'll want to understand and see that it is a subscription-based service. You need to have web access. Your existing Revit has to have an update release of 6 minimum. Your A360 Collaboration for Revit has to have the add-in that you download and install. You can also use the Autodesk Application Manager to update the information. It is a subscription-based account, so you have to have not only subscription, but you also have to have that feature paid for and engaged and active within your subscription account, which we now call Autodesk accounts. The local workstations finally must have the system requirements to run Revit right off the bat. You're ready to start working with Revit and A360 Collaboration for Revit. I have 2 virtual sessions open. One on my left-hand side, which shows Windows 7 Professional with Building Design Suite Ultimate 2015. Now, A360 Collaboration for Revit is not available yet for 2016. So, on my left-hand side, I have a workstation and virtual up and running with Revit and A360 Collaboration for Revit. I am logged in as my work user account. On my right-hand side, I have another virtual session of Revit running in another Windows 7 professional environment. However, this Revit is, even though it's running A360 Collaboration with Revit, I'm actually logged in as a personal account. And the reason I'm doing this is to mimic 2 users on 2 different workstations working on the same project. So, for example, on my left-hand side, you'll see A360 Collaboration for Revit running, and I will assume that I am the architect. On the right-hand side, I'm going to assume I'm the engineer. So as the architect, how do I open up a model that is a central model on Autodesk servers using A360 Collaboration for Revit? You can either click the icon that's a shortcut for the last set of collaboration models you've worked on. You'll see it'll say A360. Or you can click Open like you normally do. And you'll get the Open dialog box. You'll want to click A360 here. This will check your account verify you're logged in, verify you have the services enabled and functioning, and that you're up to date on your subscription. If you have everything green check marked, if you will, you then can get into A360 Collaboration Hub, and you can see all the folders that have all of the projects that you have in them. So I can double click the folder. I can select the model that I want, and if I hit open, then what ends up happening is it's going to open up the either all of them, all of the work sets, the editable ones, or the one that you specify. So I'm just going to pick it and hit open. Now what's actually happening is that A360 Collaboration for Revit is not only opening the central model, but it's actually caching and creating a local model on your workstation that is encrypted and it's divided up, if you will. And so now you're actually working with the local model of the central model on your workstation. I'm going to jump over to my right-hand side, and now as the structure engineer, I'm going to open up the same model. And since I'm clicking this link, it remembers the last work set that I had opened. And so over here on my right-hand side, you'll see structural, because I'm the structure engineer. On the left-hand side, I'm the architect, so we're going to switch over to architectural. And they look the same. I'm on the 3D coordination model. I can zoom in here. Let's take a look at the handrails and this little deck, if you will. And as a structure engineer, I'll zoom in over here. And let's just say, for example, as a structure engineer, I need to modify the railings because eventually I have to modify the structural. If I select that floor, there is the ability for me to click to make it editable. If I click it, it'll make the object editable, which means I still have control of it. I'm not borrowing or requesting any permission to use the object. And I can click edit the boundary and I can modify that boundary. For example, maybe it needs to be cleaned up like this. And I'll finish it. And now I've made the change. If I save it here, I'm actually just saving the local model. If I click this save to central, it saves the central data back to the central model. Now, I'll talk about the mechanics of what's happening in the background in a second. This still, as far as everybody else is concerned who hasn't touched A360 C4R, looks and functions just like as though you're working in a WAN environment, a typical LAN environment. Back over here as the architect, I can select that railing and I can edit the path. If I click this icon to see if I can make it editable, I can, which means I still have control of it. I can make modifications. So for now, I'm going to get out of there. I'm going to go back as a structure engineer here. And, oh, sorry, forgot. If I hit save on the architectural model, nothing happens. If I hit save to central, information that's up in the central model will get pushed down to my local model. And I should see the floor, if you will, change because I've already changed it as a structure engineer. And you can see it there. If I'm the architect and I realize, oh, I don't have time to fix the railing, I'll just deal with it later, I can save and close the model without a problem. I can go ahead and, if I need to, I can even send a simple alert message here to the structure engineer who's actually collaborating with me because I can see him. He's here and I'm here. So if I go over in here, I can put into the text message in here and saying, Mr. Structural Engineer, please update the railing. I have a meeting to go to. Thanks. Like that. And it gets sent. Back over here, you can look over here at the messages and there's an alert pop-up here. If I click this, I can select that and it will automatically tell me, hey, somebody's giving me a message. So I'm going to select that railing. I'm going to make it editable. And now I can edit that path. I'll go over here and I will draw, well, let's use a pick method with, say, a 3-inch offset. And we'll clean this up. and we'll finish it. Now the information is updated. I'll save it. I'll save it back to the central model. And as you can see here, there's information that's being updated. When it's all said and done, as a structural engineer, I'm finished for the day or whatever I need to do and move on to the next task. I can go ahead and close this model. Back over here is the architect. All I have to do is save back to central and get the updated information. And it should update accordingly. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and I'll close this model, save my local information, and save all the information back. Now, in regards to what's actually happening in the background, it's very, very similar to Revit Server. However, there's very little interaction by the end user. There is a central model. The updates come in from all the other local models and those that are saying save back to central. The information is actually being cached and pushed to a local server, which is actually on your workstation, which is encrypted and you don't see it. That local cached information is available so that when an end user says save to central, the updated information goes from your local encrypted workstation, which is your laptop or desktop, directly to the Revit software, which is practically instantaneous because it's already on the machine. Any updates that you click and hit save to central go directly back to the master central model, which is on Autodesk's servers. So as you can see, it's very similar to working with Revit Server, but Revit Server is slightly different. And I'll do another screencast on Revit Server so you know the difference between the two. So here you're back in my Revit model. I'll close the software. I'll close the model and I'm done. And that's it. That's a very quick, brief demo on Autodesk